anybody that challenges the existence of this country and this kingdom, all of us, we are projects of jihad and martyrdom. That's my message to anybody that thinks that he can threaten us.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Well now, talk about ruffling the wrong people's feathers. We all know that OPEC members, including Russia, agreed to reduce the production of oil for the sole purpose of driving up the cost per barrel. I know Iraq had no problem with jumping in on that bandwagon because they need to maintain at least a $70 per barrel average in order to fund their entire budget. If it goes below this, they'll possibly end up being short on programs they want to finance. It's possible they'll have to sell some of their foreign currency assets. It's possible they would have to sell some of their gold reserves and do whatever it takes to maintain a certain level in order for the budget to be successful. This administration is definitely competing with Obama to be the worst presidential administration ever when it comes to foreign policy. A few months after Joe Biden got into office, when Saudi Arabia let Joe Biden know that they were not going to increase oil production, he said out loud when asked about this Saudi's decision that it was probably time for a regime change. Of course, all they did was piss Saudi Arabia off, who have now aligned themselves with the BRICS nation. In case you're not aware of what's going on, notice that the United States is looking for excuses to start attacking certain BRICS nations. Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, we're already in Africa. These people who are resisting the overall New World Order agenda are those nations who are standing up against this movement. Countries don't want to be forced into a bureaucracy of unelected individuals trying to tell them what they can and can't do. Now, this is bad for Joe Biden. Prior to him being in the White House, Donald Trump had built up the largest oil reserves we've ever had. And then Biden came in, and that idiot used up all of our reserves in order to keep down the cost of oil so he could look good during the midterm elections. The problem for him is this: he's not going to be able to control oil prices anymore in the United States, and you're going to see gas prices shoot up through the roof. Right now, I'm listening to experts talk about $7, $8 per gallon. And this is why you see this administration looking for an excuse for another lockdown so people go work from home. Now, the OPEC members had already announced they were going to cut oil production. They said to hike up oil prices so it will be in a more competitive level. But how can you go in a country and ask them to be your friend and be your ally and increase oil production so that you could look good for your election after you just walked into their house, pulled down your pants, and crapped all in their food? It's not going to work. About a year ago, Biden came out and said, wait a minute, this whole Khashoggi thing, I think it's time we should look into it. In other words, it was a not-so-veiled attempt to threaten the Saudi prince. Well, as you can see, after Saudi came out with OPEC members and they decided to do exactly what they said they're going to do. And keep in mind, I told you this, they never break their promise. When they tell you they're going to reduce oil production, they're going to do it. Let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold, silver, or any other precious metals, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description, or just type in www.moneymetals.com/Pimpy. If you make a purchase when you follow that link, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win 10 free silver ounces. So get started today, and hopefully your stack will start to look like this real soon. So head on over, tell them Pimpy sent you. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Middles, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. So Saudi Arabia and Russia curb oil supply again to try to boost prices. Saudi Arabia and Russia announced Monday that they would make additional cuts to oil supplies as a global economic slowdown hangs over the outlook for energy demands. Saudi Arabia, the world's biggest exporter of crude oil, said it would extend a cut of 1 million barrels per day in its oil production at least until the end of August. The cut, which took effect on Saturday, was initially planned to last for the month of July in an attempt to shore up oil prices. So they have one levels of cuts they did that's going to last all the way through 2024. These are the additional cuts they were talking about. It was supposed to be for the month of June, but you can see now it's been extended at least through summer, which is usually the busiest time in the United States for travelers. This will definitely affect those individuals who wanted to go and vacation during the summertime, those who love to travel. Our services and entertainment industry will all be affected. Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak said that his country would voluntarily cut supplies by 500,000 barrels per day in August by cutting exports. Reuters reported, citing Novak's office, that Russia would reduce production by that amount, deepening the cut of the same size Moscow implemented in March. So OPEC members are really putting the squeeze on the global nutsack, so to speak, man, to be quite honest with you. The thing that makes everything different this time around is it's not just the United States bullying one nation and one nation trying to stand up for himself. No. This is when the schoolyard gets tired of the bully picking on them and they learn it's better for them to unite and fight back. And so it's not just Russia. There are other nations fighting back as well. And I think the United States needs to wake up and pay attention to what's happening over in France. I know a lot of you are unaware of this because you watch mainstream media. France is on the verge of being overthrown. People are tired of it. Now they're saying the reason why there's rioting out there, and I'm sure some of it has to do with it, is the fact that an unarmed teenager was shot over in France. But although there are some people there for that, the vast majority of the people were already rioting because they don't approve of the moves by their government. But our media is just going to keep lying to us and telling us it's because of an unarmed teenager who was shot. There goes our mainstream media lying to us, trying to control the narrative as usual. So the United States better wake up, because sooner or later they're going to wake the real sleeping giant. The announcement sent prices of Brent crude, the global oil benchmark, up 0.7% to trade at $76 a barrel. WTI, the U.S. benchmark, rose 0.8% to $71 per barrel. Oil prices have fallen by more than 40% since March of last year, when it hit a 14-year high in the wake of Russia's full-scale invasion in Ukraine. Saudi Arabia needs Brent crude to trade at around $81 a barrel in order to balance its budget, according to the International Monetary Fund. The kingdom has slipped back into budget deficit this year after reporting a surplus in 2022 for the first time in almost a decade. Prime Minister Sidini said something interesting. He said things are definitely going to be interesting over the next 6 months. Now, I know he was talking about things that are happening in Iraq and with his government. But if you think about it, there's going to be some very interesting things happening over the next 6 months around the world, period. Already we're seeing the outbreak of a new virus. Go figure, talk about timing, especially with an election coming up. We know this month people are going to have to vote on whether or not they agree to move into this World Health Organization's treaty, signing over each country's sovereignty and putting control of what happens in our countries into the hands of the WHO organization. So keep that in mind. Anyways, it's going to be a very interesting 6 months. There's no doubt about that. So now that Biden, once again, has pissed off Saudi Arabia, he's already pissed off Russia. China don't worry about dealing with them because they control them. It's hard to believe that an administration would be this stupid to piss off as many nations as Biden has. It's hard to believe that all this can happen at one time without this being planned. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. I'll look forward to your comments, and I'll get back at you later. I'm out.